Hey, really the only thing that gon' be normal is distribution. Normal folks gon' infuse some. Optimize your lineups and you feed the rest, you mute them. Turning it up, these numbers are loud. Peeping this game from a nimbus is wild. Making it rain. While I embrace all this risk, I'm insane. Talking about that Bestball, I'm the best rest till into the next world. Guess I got next still. Bestball, I'm the best rest till into the next world.
And welcome in to a live Drafters Fantasy Playoff Best Ball Draft. I'm Bradley Stalder, and I want to make sure that you are hopping into Drafters right now. Make sure you go on to Drafters Fantasy and use promo code BEST, B-E-S-T, and that'll give you an extra $20 when you deposit for the first time. But also, if you use the promo code BESTBALL after your first deposit, you'll get a 25% bonus up to $100. And if you go on to Drafters Fantasy's Twitter right now, they're going to have a drawing at 8 p.m. if you comment and retweet the tweet regarding their $20 NFL Playoffs Best Ball Championship. $30K goes to first place. I have it pulled up right here. $30K goes to first, 15 to second, 10 grand to third place. And then if you are 16th to 20th place, $750. And if you are 1,875th or better, you get $40. You get to double your amount. And right now I'm drafting. There are only 6,000 entrants. Only 6,000. So you have a 30% chance of just getting in based on playing right now. I mean, 30%. Yeah, the chance you get into like one of the Best Ball Mania 3s is what, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 6, 16%. Yeah, this is almost double that right now. So here is your opportunity to get in on some Drafters Fantasy. We're going to do a live $20 draft here. So make sure to use promo code BEST BEST for $20 bonus for first time deposit. And then, of course, use the Drafters bonus deposit bonus best ball for 25% up to $100. And then, of course, go onto their Twitter. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's jump into it. And just for those who need a little bit of an update on how to play. Woo. All right. Let's hide that tab here for just a moment while I get logged in. I don't know why it's giving me some trouble, but here we are. Yeah, I don't know why it decided to be difficult with the rules and scoring. But not the season long. Where'd it go? Contests. Oh, I didn't want that one. I thought it would load, but nevertheless, I want to get into this draft. The scoring is right here, roster and scoring. So for this drafters, it's 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a flex. This is a 6-team draft. And I think you're going to be drafting 12 players. So we're going to keep all of that in mind as the importance dynamic of it's also full PPR. So I'm probably not going to, target quarterback very heavily relative to the importance of a PPR wide receivers filling in your flex, and also the importance of a tight end that's going to go pretty far. So, you're thinking about who are the tight ends that could go far. Hayden Hurst for Cincinnati, Dawson Knox for Buffalo. You could think about Dallas Goedert for the Eagles, but they lose a game because they have the bye. Possibly George Kittle with the San Francisco 49ers. TJ Hawkinson could be a value there, but he's extremely chalky. And so, as I'm looking through those tight ends, I'm not trusting Mark Andrews. I'm not trusting, Mike Gesicki. Gerald Everett is not there. Maybe someone might emerge from the Tampa Bay Dallas game. Maybe it's Dalton Schultz. but the line I think is only -3 for Dallas. So we're noting that the Giants really don't have a lot. Daniel Bellinger at tight end and Noah Fant for the Seattle Seahawks. So when it comes to tight end, like you could be drawing dead at that spot, but hopefully, we've got some upside tight ends we can target, and this is full PPR as well. So Hawkinson is someone that I think is more priority add in here than it would be in other tournaments. All right. So typical scoring. The only thing that's really different about this is that it's full PPR versus, other tournaments that might be half PPR. All right. So we're going to join, and we're going to join right there. Boom. And once friends come in, we will get started here. So there are three left. And it's a lot of fun to play on Drafters Fantasy. Lots of fun. They've improved a few things since last time as well. I made a suggestion for them to look into dark mode, and look at us, like we're into dark mode. So I don't know if they had that plan in place beforehand, but it's nice to feel heard by drafters, the good friends of the show here. And make sure you use that promo code BEST for first time deposit. And then, once you've deposited for the first time, use the promo code BESTBALL. All right. And now we're going to get started here in just a moment. We're going to draft the $20 championship, playoff championship, and I draw the 6th spot. Okay. So let me do some adjustments here. As you can tell, this is the draft board and a 12-round draft. I am ready. We're going to get started in less than 2 minutes. Drawing early, of course, is Allen and Mahomes. But this is full PPR yet again. Like, is Josh Allen's elbow right? Is a big question for me. And the other troubling thing is that Patrick Mahomes, yes, he may get you 3 games, but what are you going to do that first game, right? Are you going to pair Patrick Mahomes with like Trevor Lawrence? That might be an interesting way to go about, like if you're going all in on Chiefs, for instance, are you going to pair him with someone that is going to play week 1, essentially your Patrick Mahomes light? That might be a way to skirt around it. There's only 12 spots, but you are starting 6. You're starting 6. So you're 1 quarterback, 1 running back. And that's why maybe we're not going to prioritize running back early. Maybe we'll take 1 if the right value is there. But Christian McCaffrey feels a little chalky there for San Francisco. The nice thing about San Francisco, though, is like if they make it to the Super Bowl, they'll have played. This will have been their 4th game, which is a big deal. For the value that he provides, and also the singular position. If you can win over running back versus other teams, that's a massive win, because the next ADP running back, we have to look all the way to Jerick McKinnon. Like McKinnon is the RB2 in this draft, which is not as crazy as it seems, given that McKinnon has been a multi RB1 overall weekly finisher here near the end of the season. So we're going to be on the clock here in a little bit. No surprise, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes coming off the board. I think I would lean Josh Allen if I'm picking between him and Mahomes, because Mahomes has that bye. And so we're going to come up here in a second. If Jalen Hurts comes to me, I'd be interested in that. I'm also not hating taking like a Burrow Chase stack. Like I view Burrow as in the same tier as Mahomes and Allen in what he could offer in this tournament, right? The Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen's are all the upper echelon of upside plays. And I am going to go with that stack. I feel like I am going heavy with the Bengals, but that's just been what's come to me in these draft spots. Okay, so I've got my quarterback, and the pathway would be for the Cincinnati Bengals to go pretty far. So I'm not going to focus on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm also going to have to now lean into maximizing the NFC, given that I've now stacked the Bengals on in the AFC. So this is as of a couple days ago, but the odds for making it to the Super Bowl, odds to win the Super Bowl, actually, the Chiefs have the best odds, a plus 320. The Buffalo Bills at plus 400, the Eagles at plus 500, 49ers at 550. And so there's a clear tier jump between the 49ers, Bengals at plus 750, and then the next closest is the Dallas Cowboys plus 1,400. So the odds-on favorites are these top five: the Bengals, 49ers, Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs. And I think those are the right teams to be targeting here if you're expecting those teams to be moving on. Okay. Very good. Let's see. We've got some comments. There we go. 1912 fantasy, straight up fantasy grinder. Keep the hard work. Thanks. Appreciate you, 1912. Thanks for popping into the draft. And thanks for watching. Appreciate all y'all subscribing. If you like the content, really appreciate if you hit that red subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. The channel's grown here from only about 50, 60 in the off season to now almost 700 subscribers, getting very close to that 700. I want to thank you for an awesome regular season. And now, wow, I'm like choking up here. Y'all getting me so emotional. Oh, this is so dangerous because y'all have left me with Joe Mixon, and I'm going with Bengals here. Okay. Now you're thinking, okay, Bradley, was the next play? And I think we have to leverage what field we have here, and Dallas Goedert is on the Eagles. I think there's a huge tier drop between Dallas Goedert and then Dawson Knox versus Schultz versus even Hawkinson. Like, if we think that the Eagles are going to be the third best team to be moving forward, like if they're going to beat the Cowboys and whoever else emerges from Minnesota, the Giants, San Francisco, Seattle corner, like, we know what Dallas Goedert brings to the table, and he's always a top 10, top 12 weekly finisher with high upside. And so that's something to consider, that we have leverage over the field. We have one of the best tight ends, and taking a 4th round pick is not crazy. I think in a full PPR, when we know that he gets, somewhere between 6 and 10 targets in a game, Dallas Goedert just commands targets. So I've got my Cincinnati plays here. I might not be afraid to lean heavily on Cincinnati the rest of the way. Like Tyler Boyd, I wouldn't hate taking here as well. Just continue to lean into Cincinnati. And I think that the Dallas Goedert pick was right, because we're looking at the Hawkinsons, which is risky play. Maybe he moves on, but the Giants are very interesting. A popular upset pick for right now. Yeah, Tyler Boyd fits with the ADP, but also fits with my Cincinnati stacks as we're moving forward. Like, imagine this mega team of Cincinnati moving forward. Now let's look and see. Well, I've already been hitting on the Chiefs, so let's see. Tampa Bay or Dallas is going to make it there. Yeah, let's go with Godwin. Godwin in full PPR, I think, is the play over any of the other wide receivers in that spot. Okay, so I've got Cincinnati, who I expect to be playing, and then Godwin can play against Philadelphia, and my hope is that he'll play 2 games, right? We'll get 2 games out of Godwin. If they lose to Dallas, right, that's going to be my narrative moving forward, is that Tampa Bay beats Dallas, but then faces off against the Eagles. Okay. So maybe I take, a late Tom Brady or something like that, but consolidating quarterback, like you want to go for the win here. And if Cincinnati goes all the way, right, that might be a way to attack this. I wouldn't be afraid to take a Hayden Hurst later on, especially because I'm going to be taking a 0 that first week for Dallas Goedert. But Goddard is such a tier above, and it fits with the narrative that if I get some of the stacking pieces of Cincinnati, they're going to be facing Baltimore, which should be an easy win. But then, we're going to see who is going to be facing off against Cincinnati later on, and those games could turn into shootouts. Which is especially if the Buffalo Bills are facing off against the Bengals. So as you can tell, I've been steering clear of the Bills in this. I've been going with the Bengals, and now I can focus my efforts on what kind of upside can I get on the NFC side. So let's see if there are any other plays that fit within that narrative. Okay. And taking some later shots isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just don't want to go against your narrative. Like if things go right with your narrative, you don't want to contradict it. So I'm expecting Tampa to win. Minnesota is still on the table, but that's Kirk Cousins. Mike Williams is out. And so Hayden Hurst as the other tight end here fits well with my narrative, and it also fits well with the bye week that Dallas Goedert has. So now we can go and see, okay, who's next? Well, I can take Tom Brady, and I think that is not a bad pick either. So I'm set at quarterback. I'm set at tight end. Now it's going to be what kind of running backs can I target from the NFC now that I've got, because I only need to, I'm banking on Mixon. I'm banking on Chase and Boyd and then Godwin. So maybe a late Eagles wide receiver, Quez Watkins comes to mind to fitting into that realm. We could also look at like Samaje Perine is going to be a running back that would fit with my narrative and also offer some upside himself if Joe Mixon fails. Also, if you think that the Chargers, I don't have a strong take on the Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in that case, you're going to think, okay, I need to pick one or the other. And if it's going to be an upside pick, there's news today that Mike Williams is going to miss at least 2 weeks. And that means the Jacksonville game and definitely means the possibility of the Chiefs game. Okay. And if there's a pick between the Chargers and the Jags, the Chargers are more likely to the odds on favorites to win the Super Bowl. So Josh Palmer is already off the board. So someone must be drafting with him in mind. So there we go. Another running back that would fit with my narrative would be Leonard Fournette. Okay, drafting Leonard Fournette, and then also Samaje Perine. Okay, because we're also trying to get a flex spot in there. Okay, I really, really like this team. Goddard offers that late upside. Okay, to hedge, but also I think he was a tier pick differential. And then we're left with, well, this is pretty Bucks and Bengals heavy as we're moving forward. So maybe I just look that way and see what I can get. I have 3 running backs. I have 2 quarterbacks. I have 2 tight ends. Yeah. Maybe it's Rachaad White as a nice little flex play, because we're only starting 1 running back. And so I'm going to maybe need some wide receiver help. Mike Williams is not on the table. Maybe I take a dart throw at like an Adam Thielen, but the New York Giants secondary is tough. The 49ers secondary is spotty here and there. And the Seattle Seahawks secondary is tough. So any of those don't really pan for Adam Thielen to be useful. And Jalen Waddle's not going to be someone I'm targeting with Skylar Thompson expected to play. Jawan Jennings might be a wide receiver that I haven't taken a stab on, or in that realm. So let's just keep looking here. Yeah, Seattle gets San Francisco. I like what Tyler Lockett has done, and maybe there's some upside that first week. Okay. And let's take a look. Anyone that I'm missing here? Okay. And maybe Russell Gage, okay, as the wide receivers in that spot. Okay. So I like how this turned out. This was very Tampa Cincinnati heavy, as you can tell. So my bets would be that it's Tampa Bay and the Bengals. The Bengals have the fifth highest odds, fifth best odds to make the Super Bowl, and the Buccaneers have the eighth out of 14. So pretty middle to upper, but I have them stacked. And if that works out pretty nicely, I have all of the players, or almost all of the players, for a Cincinnati Tampa Bay Super Bowl matchup, as unlikely as that might sound, even with Dallas Goedert, hanging out here. Because I wasn't willing to take a K-Dot, right? I think that's the thing. I also wasn't planning to do Tampa Bay, but it seemed to just fall to me, and there seemed to be just the right values and right prices. And if you're stacking, like, you got to take, like, what is the path and narrative? So I maybe, in hindsight, the Dallas Goedert pick just doesn't fit as well with what I wanted to do, but there's really not a lot of upside either when it comes to, there's not a lot of upside when it comes to that. So it would still be alive, like that Philadelphia Cincinnati matchup is still alive. It's just a matter of I would be missing out on like the AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert, but it's almost impossible to get all of those players stacked together. I felt like these were good stacks. I'm gonna take a nice little picture and post it with it. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I appreciate all of you tuning in. And if you're watching this for the first time, I encourage you to use the promo code BEST, BEST, for an extra $20 bonus for the first time depositing. And then Drafters has a special promo right now where you can use the promo code BESTBALL, BESTBALL, for a 25% bonus up to $100. And then, of course, go to their Twitter, go to Drafters Fantasy Twitter, retweet and comment. Retweet the tweet about an extra 5 tickets to this $20 playoff best ball championship, and comment your projected Super Bowl matchup, and you are entered into a chance to win. So check that out. They're good friends of the podcast. Appreciate all of you jumping in. And thanks, everyone. And I'll be doing a couple more of these throughout probably tonight, and then we'll see if I can get to any tomorrow morning. But this is a lot of fun. Make sure you check out Drafters, and I'll be doing other content as well in the off season. Some of you have seen some of the rookie profiles that I've done. Some of you have seen the 2023 outlook for particular players and teams that I've posted, and I'll continue to put all of that, plus, just getting some more content and theory out for you. And I'll also be doing research for the best ball tournaments that we'll be doing this coming season. All right, everyone, till next time, good luck in the best ball streets.
I embrace all this risk, I'm insane. Talking about that best bell, I'm the best rest till into the next world. Guess I got next still. Best bell, I'm the best rest till into the next world. Guess I got next still.